this video, I'm going to show you the inside of my 2009 HHR panel, which is my mobile detailing rig. This is what I take out to customers' locations, and I'll show you the inside on how I have it set up for operational efficiency. And I choose that word very wisely because essentially, whether it's a mobile rig, whether you go out to a customer location, or you have your own proper shop, you have to have your workspace set up for operational efficiency. And what I mean by that is you need to be able to have your workflow needs to be able to run smoothly, so you don't have any hiccups or downtimes or bottlenecks while you're running your production hours, which is when you're actually detailing. So if you're slowing down because you can't find XYZ product or tool, if you have everything stuffed at the bottom of your van, or all the way in the back of your shop that you have to get to frequently, then you're just eating up minutes, which creates the hours, which creates to you losing time, because it means you're going to take longer to complete a detail, which means you're either going to make less or not as much, which also means that the customer might take a little longer for you to deliver the car to the customer. So there's a lot of negative factors if you don't have your workspace, your workstation, your mobile rig, your shop set up for operational efficiency. So let's go in and I'll show you what I have set up. Now remember, what I'm going to show you is based off my simplistic setup that I have, but the same content I'm going to show you here applies to whether you have a big van, a small van, a truck, a two-door coupe, or an actual big shop. Regardless of what I show you, the content is going to be applied across the board in whatever type of setup you have, so keep that in mind. So this is my simplistic setup. Again, I keep it very minimalistic. I don't try to go after every single last item or tool or product that I need or that I want to purchase. I try to keep it as simplistic as possible because that in itself really pushes the boundaries in terms of being creative and what I actually need and what I actually don't need. So I specifically do a lot of interior cleaning. So I have all my interior cleaning products right up front to me, so I don't have to battle through products or tools in order to get to the most frequently used items. So here are my towels, here's all my products. These are all interior towels. Here are all my products for interior, exterior, whatever. Technically all products are here. My McCullough 1385 steamer, I believe, and then all the chemicals that just something like all-purpose cleaner diluted 10-to-1, all-purpose cleaner diluted 5-to-1, waterless wash, and my clay lube. Now these I bring them in gallons, obviously, because these can actually run out in the 32-ounce bottles rather quickly. So I bring these on site because I will have to refill them often. So best to bring this instead of bringing something that I have to dilute on site. These are already diluted, and I just bring them out, open it, I have this funnel here, and I can just refill them on the spot. So all the other products that I bring, they don't have to be refilled on every detail. You can clearly gauge how much you're going to use because they're not used too frequently. So that's a good thing. So then here I have my ladder. In this HHR panel, it actually does have another compartment down here. So here is actually not much. All I have is some sanding paper for headlight restoration, my vacuum bags, and some heavy duty clips. But again, these aren't used too often, which is why I put them in the bottom, because I'm not gonna switch out my vacuum bags very often, and I don't do many headlight restorations where I have to have them like in the forefront. So that's why they're put down there, because they're not used too often enough to bring them out and try to sort them in the primary front. So then we just close that, and then we can bring this back. And in here, just a personal bag with extra clothes, and I'll have my lunchbox there just to take it on the street, so I don't have to be stopping for any beverages or anything like that. And in here I have the 50-foot electrical cord, my Metro sidekick, and then 2 boxes full of interior cleaning products. I typically take this out once I get on there because I'll use most of it for interior cleanings. And then if we want to move this one out the way, we pop this open, and here are the buffers, both grit 6-inch, 3-inch, with interior brush attachment with the little wrench itself, and 2 extra pads, backing plates I may say, and those are put down here just because here it's a perfectly utilized compartment for this type of item. So I do use these not as frequently, but I do use them for interior cleanings as well, headlight restorations, and they just fit so perfectly here, so which is why I bring them down here. And it's no biggie to move those 2 cases, those 2 crates, to reach them to me. And then here I have the vacuum and my vacuum bag. So this is, again, I made a video a while back on I actually reviewed this vacuum, and again, if it's so perfectly behind my chair, it takes up no space. As you can tell, I'm already limited on space in my rig as it is. So you know, finding ways to save space is very, very, very crucial in my scenario. Now, my setup is very simple. As I showed you, there's not a lot going on, and you may be saying, well, Oscar, you know, that's you do only interiors, but I do this, you know, highly custom detailing, this specialty work, this high-end detailing on the most advanced cars, or I do XYZ stuff, so I need more things. And, you know, if that's what you think you need, then that's by all means, go for it, take everything that you need. But there is a quote by Steve Jobs, and I'm gonna completely butcher it and paraphrase, and I'll put the actual quote up here when I go and edit it, but it simply says, you know, keeping it simple is much more difficult than doing everything you want. So like by you saying, instead of me taking, you know, tool 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because I think I need all of that, instead let me just take the 4 essential tools that I need to get the job done. That's a lot more difficult and takes a lot more creative juices to really distill everything down into the main essentials. And again, this applies to both mobile rig and your shop, because if you have a shop, you have more space. So you want to buy more items, you want to buy more products, you want to use more tools as details come along. But again, the byproduct you get from that is that you simply start to buy more things, accumulate more stuff. You take up more space, then you want a bigger shop, or you want to buy more cabinets to be able to save more space, and you just keep on adding and adding and adding. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just be conscious and aware of what you're doing in your details. Don't just, you know, just because you want it or just because you've been, you know, you think you need that, you're gonna go out and buy it and get it. You really need to be real strategic on what you're purchasing and how it's really affecting your overall production time when you're detailing. So to recap everything is, you want to have the most frequently used or the most commonly used product and tools at the forefront. So if you have, you know, if you do mostly headlight restoration, then don't have your buffer and your pads and your polishes and your sanding paper all the way in the front or all the way dug in, underneath something where it takes you, you know, 5 minutes to reach, or it takes you a few minutes to reach. Have that at the very forefront to the most convenient location for you, so you can turn around, grab it, and get going. And that's gonna apply for that's gonna try your best to apply that concept to just about everything across the board, where you're not gonna have everything stuffed into one area where you have to dig through lots and lots of things. You wanna have the most commonly used, most frequently used items at hand's reach, so you're not fiddling around. And another thing you wanna keep in mind is you're gonna have to change out per detail. So let's say, you know, unless you're heavily, you know, unless you have that full van, or you have, you know, you have a dozen types of details every day, you're gonna find into a general into a general frame of what type of details you're gonna do and what is required for each detail. So do you need to take the whole kitchen and the sink every single time? Probably not. You could kind of, you know, move around things per day or per detail. So if possible, you can also do that where if, you know, you're mainly focusing on interior and maybe you're gonna do a wash and wax on the outside, you don't need to bring all your paint correction stuff, so you can either leave that at your shop or, you know, at least decrease some of the items that you're bringing along. But, you know, main thing you want to keep in mind is have all the frequent items to the forefront, have them at hand's reach, and make sure that you bring what you essentially need. Don't just bring everything because you have everything or because you think you need everything. If you can try to keep it as simplified as possible for maximum operational efficiency. And that's going to wrap up this video on the detail rig. Again, I keep it very simple. As you can see, there's not much going on, but that was intentional. Could I throw a lot more things in there? Of course, but I'm not, because I want to keep it as simple as possible to not complicate things. Let me know in the comments below what you think and how complicated or simplified your mobile setup is, or even your shop if you actually have a shop. Tell me like what kind of tips do you have to kind of be more efficient in your production hours. So leave those comments down below. Like this video, subscribe. As always, check the link description down below for more information, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.